Hey y'all, it's your girl Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I am on camera today, even though I'm dead tired. I do not feel like being on camera, but I wanted to be on camera for y'all today, you know? But welcome to my channel, Black Fairy Tings. I'm Dayna Patreace, the Black Fairy, and I am here today to start part 2 of my little series here. Today we'll be talking about the Matilda effect. Now, if you're new to my channel, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. Make sure you click that notification bell so you do not miss out on anything that we are discussing here. On my channel, we deconstruct patriarchy, we deconstruct Christianity, but most of all, we get in tune with our goddess selves so that we are thriving as women in society today. And this channel is for women who want to see other women win, not just themselves, which of course is important, but other women as well. So welcome to my channel. I hope you like the topic today. This is why women's work gets overlooked, the Matilda effect. It's part 2 to a little series that I started, Men in Their Audacity. I already posted up video 1 last week, so this is video 2. We're going to get into it. I'm just going to play the intro and we will begin.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
Okay, y'all. So let's just jump right in. Question. Have y'all heard of the scientist who discovered DNA? I actually learned about her in science class. I believe my teacher, Miss Hiba, she talks about her in every grade. I'm currently doing grade 12 university biology because I'd like to go back to school to become a midwife. And I need to go back to school to get my prerequisites, right? It's been so long since I've been out of high school that I have to go back to be able to take a university course, right? Which midwifery is. So I'm well aware of this lady. Like I said, my biology teacher brings her up all the time. And she is the person who discovered DNA, right? Most people would say it's Watson or Crick or Watson and Crick, but they actually built their model based off the uncredited work of a woman, right? Her name was Rosalind Franklin. You see me looking over, I am looking at my notes. So again, a woman uncredited for years on what their research was based off of. There was also, I can think about, the first person who identified nuclear fission. I don't know if I'm getting that right. I'm in biology. I should know that, but whatever, right? A discovery that made atomic energy possible. That was Lee's, what's her name? Meitner? Okay. But a male colleague not only took credit, but won a Nobel Prize. Okay. Let me just let that pass right there. So this isn't just like, a few off case scenarios. It's a pattern, some would say a phenomenon. And it's called the Matilda effect, where women's contributions in science and, academia and research, they're erased, overlooked, or credited to a man. Okay. So in today's video, we're going to break it down. We're going to break this down. I'm going to share what the Matilda effect is, why it happens, and how it still affects women today, right? But also how we can change it, because there is a lot of power that we have now, especially even though in a lot of places You've seen people wanting to withdraw women's rights. At this moment in time, a lot of us still have a lot of rights. We worked really hard to get there. And, you know, I'm proud of women. You know, the more that I learn about how far we've come, what's been taken from us, the indoctrination of patriarchy, I can truly say I'm proud of us. You know, they do their damnedest to oppress us, and yet still we rise. So that's the little introduction of what we're going to get into. Let's see. So yeah, today we are talking about the Matilda effect. Trust me, it's good. And once you see this pattern, you're not going to know what to do with it. Okay, you're going to be like, what do I do with this? Like, how did I not see this before? Because I guarantee you, even outside of corporate America, North America, wherever you are, you've seen it, if not experienced it for yourself, right? So what is the Matilda effect, right? Like, what is the Matilda effect? Well, in 1993, historian Margaret W. Rossiter coined the term Matilda effect, right? That was to describe how women's scientific work is often ignored or attributed to their male colleagues. She named it after Matilda Jocelyn Gage, who was a suffragist and an activist. And she first wrote about how history routinely erases women and their contributions as well as their achievements, right? But here's the thing. This isn't just about the past. This is happening right now, y'all. It's happened today, right? Studies have found that women's research is less likely to be cited than men's, even when it's equally or more influential. Women are less likely to be credited for their discoveries, right? When working with teams of men, right? Because we find ourselves, even when women can get into these, which I feel like all spaces are male-dominated spaces, but when we women can get in, we're still being pushed out, right? So even the discoveries that we do make, men take credit for it. They put their names on the research, and that is to make it seem more credible, right? Even if the work is identical, and it rarely, if ever, gets called out, right? So you can look this up, and I'm going to have all the references in the description box below. But that's from the Matilda Effect and the Women Whose Scientific Work Was Overlooked. You can find that by WomLead magazine. This is the article right here that I just have up as like a little visual for this video. So why does this happen? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give it a little break. I'm going to pull up some information, and we are going to get right into that.
Hey, you guys, it's your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy. And I am just here to remind you, please like, share, comment, subscribe, okay? Click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos or any new lives, okay? I will be coming here with more and more information. So please, you don't want to miss out. And this is just a quick reminder and a quick thank you, because it's a free way to support the channel and to support me. I love y'all.
Okay, so why are women still not getting the credit that we deserve, right? First things first is all about bias recognition. There was a study done in 2013. Oh, my little thing's gone. Why is it gone? Okay, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, maybe it wasn't. I'm just, when I switched, anyways, let's get back into it. So why are women still not getting the credit they deserve? Number one is bias recognition, okay? A 2013 study done by Knobloch-Westerwick et al. Don't know if I'm saying that right. They found that people rated identical research as higher quality when a man's name was on it, okay, compared to a woman's. So just in our mindset, we will accept certain things as fact from men just because they're men. This unconscious bias makes women's work seem less authoritative, even if it's the same work. That's absolutely ridiculous, y'all. Number 2, there is a collaboration erasure happening, y'all. When men and women co-author papers, men are more likely to be remembered. They are remembered as the primary contributor, even if that's not the case. Jocelyn Bell Burnell is a prime example of this. She discovered pulsars, but her male supervisor won the Nobel Prize for it. One thing I want to say, like, the reason why this, and if you watch video 1, I kind of went into like how I came up with this series and why I wanted to talk about it. But it really goes into the psychological impacts that patriarchy has, right, on women and on men. I can remember situations like this. I'm sure people have been in a room full of men, have things to say, have things to contribute, ignored, but then a man will say it and it's like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I've heard of these things happening, right? They happen very common, and it almost like this natural reaction just due to how the patriarchal society brainwashes us from a very young age, right? But let's get back into it. 3 would be systematic gatekeeping. So like awards, funding, leadership positions in academia are still dominated by men, meaning that women's work often gets sidelined, okay? Even today, women make up less than 30% of Nobel Prizes. That's insanity. I mean, living downtown, I can't get around it or past it, no matter what date of time I do this, okay? So those are some of the things that we see of like why it happens, but it actually has a great effect on us even today, right? So this isn't just an academic issue. It affects who gets hired, promoted, funding, right? It affects all those things. Women in male-dominated fields have to work twice as hard to be seen as experts. Be a woman of color in a male-dominated field. You don't want to see the stats on that. Maybe you do, and we'll get into it another time, right? Women's contributions are often undervalued in the workplace, not just research, but several aspects of the workplace. In media, expert panels and commentators are still overwhelmingly male. And then nowadays they will sprinkle in a woman or two. You know what I mean? I find that they try to pit the women against each other. You'll see a lot of dismissiveness. I see this a lot on American news outlets right now, with the women who are present and who are speaking against that president. They go hard and they get a lot of pushback from the males, and they get a lot of there's a lot of dismissiveness to their points, even when they're hitting the nail right on the head, right? So I think that we can all say that we've seen this, you know, and it's not just about gender, race, class, and other biases that compound this effect. Women of color in particular, like I was saying, we face barriers even greater than the average, right, to recognition. And it's just not fair. It really isn't. And of course, we live in a world that's not fair. But I definitely think that we can do some things about this to make it better, because I don't want to just make these videos to bash men. I want to also make these videos to empower women. Like, I don't want to just focus on the problem and get angry about the problem. I want us to think about the solutions to these problems, right? So I'm just going to put on another quick little minute while I get this next part up, but we're going to go into what can we do about it.
Hey, y'all. Do you need a gratitude journal? Well, if you do, me, myself, and I, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, have gratitude journals available for sale in the link below. They go for $6.99 USD, and no worries. By clicking the link in the bio, it will send you straight to your country and to your currency. So don't worry about that. But just to give you a rough estimate, it is $6.99. Now, if you didn't know, gratitude is one of the best ways to not only affirm what it is that you want in your life, but to affirm what it is you want to see in your life. With that being said, this is a great tool and opportunity for you to take a part of. It's an inexpensive way for you to tap into the law of attraction. I highly, highly recommend it. And I love y'all. Link in the bio below.
So yes, so hopping right back into it, what can we do about it as women? Like, what can we do? Like, how do we fix this issue? How can we start seeing change, right? So that is the big question. My ideas are this. We could cite more women, especially as women. If you're in academia or research, check your citation lists. Are they heavily male dominated? Were there no female, I hate saying female in that aspect, women aspects and women ideas and women researchers that you could pick from that provide you this information? Because citing each other more forces them to see you, forces you into visibility. So are you citing diverse voices or just the same old names? Another thing we can do is amplifying women's contributions. Call out misattribution when you see it, right? Make sure that women are credited in meetings, publications, and media, right? If you have a meeting about something and they're citing what everybody's contributed and you don't see that you were contributed the way that you should, or you don't see that a woman who you may be working with in that same field, territory, whatever the case may be, speak up for them, right? This is going to take us really coming together, which I think a lot of people sometimes, they don't believe in us enough, especially the men. They don't think we can come together. I do. And I think it will take work and understanding and love, but I definitely think we can come out together. And this is one way we can come together more, right? Making sure that women are credited in meetings, publications, and in media when we do our research, when we do these projects, when we get together in mixed spaces and mixed company, and make sure that our voices are heard. Another thing would be to challenge the bias recognition when you see it, right? Institutions need to reevaluate hiring, awards, and grant decisions with an awareness of the Matilda effect. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's so much grants out there for women, but it shouldn't just be based on gender. A lot of women have so much to contribute, and a lot of women are superior to the male counterparts in these aspects and spaces. So why aren't we recognizing them for this? And I feel like, again, it starts with each other. We have to support women's visibility, which is kind of like what I was just getting into, right? You have to share their work, recommend their expertise. If you are a journalist, an educator, or even a creator of content, for example, feature more women's voices, right? The goal isn't to fix women. It's to fix a system that still rewards men for work women are doing, right? I know for me in class especially, I always try to find like a women researcher. I had a project and we were supposed to pick a scientist from our home country if it wasn't Canada, because I'm in Canada, right? So if it wasn't I'm Canadian born, I'm first generation Canadian, but my family is from the island of Jamaica. And I decided to choose, a scientist from my island. And I decided to look up a woman scientist from that island. Now, there weren't a lot, right? There weren't a lot. You don't see that a lot in the Caribbean. It's becoming more now of a thing, but, it's another patriarchal island. So we're not shocked. Are you shocked? Are you shocked? No, we're not shocked. So with that being said, what we want to do is we want to step forward as women in these communities. I know for me, as I go into midwifery and I learn more, I'm definitely going to be looking for women's contributions, considering that, you know, midwifery is such an ancient woman-led, I'm trying hard not to say female-led because I don't like referring to women as females, women-led industry, even though the healthcare is male-dominated. You know, I feel like midwifery is a space where I will learn more about these kind of topics and these kind of things, especially when it comes to birth, right? So it'll be interesting, but I definitely always try to choose like a woman scientist. Like I said, when I did that project in class, woman scientist, okay? When I try to get references, I try to find women who I can reference. Just because I want to try, you know, let's even it out. Like we contribute heavy. You know, I have a video where I talk about women's contributions because a lot of men think that women, quite frankly, have not contributed anything. They think that they built this world by themselves without any women's help, you know, and the women were just all at home doing nothing, even when they were at war and nobody was home to do the work, and women stepped up to the cause to help there. They don't give recognition to us at all. And when you go into even looking at how the fridge, for example, I was like, okay, get rid of your fridge then. If you would never trust a woman to be smart enough to do anything, there's so many things in your home that you partake in that women have contributed to. So you look stupid, right? Like you look dumb. But I did do a video on that. I'll link it below. But we're going to actually wrap this up. I don't want these videos to be too long. So again, women have been making history, y'all, all along. We just haven't been writing their names in the books. By recognizing the Matilda effect, we can start challenging the biases that keep women from getting the credit that they deserve, right? So next up in this series, y'all, it's going to be about how bias in academic recognition affects not just citations, but funding, job opportunities, and career success. I do not want you to miss it. For the average woman who goes to work every day in a most probable male-dominated space, this is great information. Maybe things that you haven't really thought about. Maybe there's some biases that you have indoctrinated in you from just growing up in a patriarchy that you didn't think about, right? So before I head out, what do you think? Have you ever experienced this? Let me know in the comments below. You know, this kind of erasure in your own life. Have you seen it in your situations? Have you seen it as far as school, work, or even in media, right? Let's talk about it. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe so you don't miss the next video in this series. And I want to thank you for taking the time to, you know, join me over here on my channel. I've seen that I'm getting a lot more comments and a lot more views now that I'm being more consistent. That's why, even though I am tired, okay, and you could tell I'm tired. Exams coming up. I have final assignments to hand in, but I will no longer allow that to stop me. I'm trying to make sure that I can get a video out to you at least once a week. If you did not know, I am also doing a read and review of the book When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. Chapter 5 is going to be uploaded. I think I'll do it next week or the week after. I do space them out. The last couple of videos were quite long. I know you guys kind of stop and come back. It's a long chapter. This chapter 5 is the last long chapter. So once we get through this, the videos will be, I'll probably do them a little bit more closer together, like maybe every 2 weeks. But pretty much I try to upload at least once a month as far as the read and review, because it's so much information to take in. But I'm learning a lot. I'm sure those of you who've been following along are learning a lot. So again, if you're interested, please subscribe. That is not a members thing or anything like that. I literally listen to the audio because a lot of the words from anthropology and things like that I cannot pronounce. So we actually listen and review. And I go through some points and just some things that I pretty much do commentary on the chapter that we're reading. So if you are interested, please again join me here on my channel. Thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed, to those of you who are commenting and liking the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, I love you. I believe in you. You've got this. And thank you again. Stay tuned for part 3. I don't know, I'm so nervous. I get so nervous, y'all. That's why I have my notes and everything. I'm so nervous doing these things, but I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. So even if you just enjoyed the video, let me know. Okay, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you soon. I hope that you enjoyed this little mini video and that you learned some things. And yeah, like I said, comment below.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.